All right, welcome back. This is Mark, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Really a fascinating book. It's actually called the Bardo Thödol, and it was traditionally composed by Padmasambhava in the 8th century, and it was later rediscovered by Karma Lingpa in the 14th century CE. Finally translated into English by Walter Evans Wentz in 1927, making it widely known in the West. And so the origin is, according to tradition, Padmasambhava wrote the teachings which describe the intermediate states, or the bardo, between death and rebirth, but hid them away for a future era when they would be more needed. The text was revealed by Karma Lingpa as part of a larger collection of Nyingma Buddhist teachings. All right, so let's go over that and see what they say and how it relates to self-realization and realizing the self. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is a common Western name for the Bardo Thödol, which translates roughly to liberation through hearing in the intermediate state. There's a few important clarifications. It's not a single book written by a single author. It's a collection of guided instructions traditionally read aloud to help someone who is dying or has just died or is in deep meditation. It comes out of Tibetan Vajrayana Buddhism, attributed to Padmasambhava, though compiled later. Despite the spooky title, it's really a manual for consciousness. The key idea, the bardo, the in-between. Bardo means interval or transitional state. Death is just one of several bardos. Classic teaching lists 6 bardos, but the most famous 3 are the Bardo of Living, which is ordinary waking life, the Bardo of Dying, the dissolution of body and senses, the Bardo of Dharmata, the moment of pure awareness, and then a 4th one, the Bardo of Becoming, where rebirth tendencies form. Self-realization could happen in any bardo, not just after death. Now, at its core, the Bardo Thödol says you are already awakened awareness, you just don't recognize it. Common theme, right? Self-realization is recognition, not achievement, the most important moment in the clear light. During death and also deep meditation, consciousness briefly encounters the clear light of reality. This is pure awareness, no ego, no story, no self, no other divide. If you recognize this at the moment as your true nature, liberation happens instantly, even can happen at the moment of death, right at that moment in an instant. But if you don't, the mind panics, grasps, projects visions, peaceful or wrathful deities, falls back into habitual identity and rebirth. So the entire text trains you for one skill: recognize awareness when it appears without flinching. That's self-realization in Tibetan terms. And to elaborate on that aspect, they teach that you must leave out the crown area of your head. Notice I didn't say crown chakra because it doesn't seem to be a chakra from what I read about. And I go over that in the book too when I talk about the chapter on chakras. It's the crown area or portion of your head. There's no mention of chakras in the Upanishads. I searched and searched, but it seems to be more like a gateway or a portal, like a gateway. And so the Tibetans believe that you need to leave out your crown to escape this reality, to escape the cycle of birth and death and rebirth and karma. And there's 10 ways or 10 areas you can leave out your body. You can leave out your mouth, your ears, your eyes, your nose, and then 2 down there. And so the ideal is to leave from here. That's your Brahma Randa. Brahma Randa. Hope I said that correctly. Brahma Randa. Brahma Randa or Brahma Randa. Anyways, but that's the area out your crown. So they have it too where they don't want to be laying down. They want to be sitting up. So they'll facilitate more of that leaving from that area. And also they do a practice, I think it's Fowa or Powa. It's a tantric exercise to help facilitate that exiting from that area of the head. And that's the most auspicious place to leave upon death. The other areas, at the other orifices, the 2 ears, the 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, 2 mouths, and the 2 down there, they don't want to leave to that, because you'll come right back to earth. And so the most important moment, the clear light, we talked about that. And then the deities are mirrors, they're not gods. So the famous peaceful and wrathful deities aren't external beings judging you. They represent emotional energies, archetypal patterns, aspects of your own mind. The instructions repeatedly say things like, don't be afraid, these appearances are your own mind. Self-realization is really seeing fear, desire, beauty, terror, and bliss as expressions of awareness itself. Why fear blocks awakening. A huge theme in the text is fear equals misrecognition. And then fear is really the ego, the mind, the self. There's no fear, there's no mind, there's nothing. When you're in the self, you're completely in the present. And fear has you in the future, and regret, sadness mostly in the past. Fear is mostly in the future. I mean, anticipatory emotion for something that hasn't happened yet. And where's the self? Self is in the now, the present moment. Although we talk about the self is timeless, the now, or the present moment, essentially is timeless, but that's the only way we can really conceptually express where the self resides. And so, essentially no language, no words can really describe it, but that's the best we could do for what we got here in this dualistic reality. Okay, so why fear blocks awakening? We talked about that. Wrathful visions scare the ego. The ego recoils, duality returns. Fear rises when awareness mistakes its own energy for something other. The practice is radical. Relax into everything, even terror, especially terror. You must relax, let go. Neither have aversion nor desire, neither be pushed away from it or grasped for it. Just have an open, palm of nothingness, of emptiness. And it goes on to say that's why Tibetan Buddhism emphasizes familiarity with death, meditation on impermanence, training and recognizing awareness now. And this is super important. I don't know if this is an actual quote, but I heard this somewhere, I read this somewhere, that life is a preparation for death. And if you look at it in the astral realm or the death realm, wherever we go, if time is distorted, and actually the short journey we're here on earth is only a moment of time in all of eternity, and where we go upon the exiting of this physical body is actually much greater than that small moment that we're here on earth, whether it's 50 or 100 years or somewhere in between for most people. But the time that we're in the afterlife is so much longer than it is being here. So use this opportunity wisely, because there's not much time. I mean, time is very short for this physical body, for this opportunity we have. Don't waste it chasing all this nonsense everywhere. I gotta play a video game, I gotta go watch TV, I gotta go gamble, I gotta go drink, I gotta go smoke, I gotta go this, I gotta go this, I gotta go chase this pleasure, chase this guy, this girl, this, that, whatever. Just stop it all and go inside. That is the only way you're gonna find peace, happiness, by finding and realizing who you are. That is it. Nothing else will give you that contentment. And society will try to pull you every which way, and this is all done purposely. So you're gonna have to go against the herd, go against the majority of the crowd, go against what people are trying to pull you and get you to do things that are pulling you outside of that externally. So remember, go inside, go to the self. That's it. It's right here. It's always been with you. That's always where, and it's always been where the happiness resides, and that's you. That's your entire nature. And so to finish off this really interesting Tibetan Book of the Dead, after that little tangent, why it's really for the living. Despite the name, monks will tell you if you can't recognize awareness while alive, you won't be able to do it while dying. And there's some practices tied to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Dzogchen, the Great Perfection, Mahamudra, Deity Yoga, Dream Yoga. All of them contain continuous recognition of mind's nature across waking, dreaming, and dying. Self-realization becomes congruent through all those. And so a big takeaway with the Tibetan Book of the Dead is brutally simple beneath the symbolism. You are not your thoughts, you're not your emotions, you're not even the fear of death. You are the awareness in which all of it appears. Liberation doesn't come from escaping experience, it comes from recognizing yourself as experience itself. And you know, society, I think we talked about this when disconnecting with your physical appearance in the body, they shun away from death. And we need to accept that our lives here on earth are impermanent, and we're all gonna die. This physical body's gonna die, but the self never dies, and it was never born. It's eternal. But the physical body, this body, we have a limited time here, and so use it wisely. Don't waste it. Time in this reality is short, and we have an opportunity. Everyone has an opportunity, especially if you're seeing this video. You're ahead of 99% of the population. Most people won't even see this video or hear these words or even know what the self is, but inherently we all know. But it helps to have someone show you, express the words, and help convey the idea and who we are at the very core. If you know, and that does make a big difference, especially for me at a point where I didn't know what any of this stuff was. I didn't know what these experiences I was going through. I didn't know what these feelings were, what these bright light, what's this bliss I'm feeling. I didn't know any of this. I didn't have anyone to teach me. I had to learn all this by reading, by experiencing, by talking to people, by visiting India, enlightened yogis in India. I had to go to all these different places, and finally it all just clicked. And now this is where these experiences, these ideas, all these this knowledge is coming from. So thank you for being here, and we'll see you on the next one.